Red won out of the theater reaction.
Phenomenal movie. Quite possibly
maybe
the
biggest
greatest.
surprise of the year.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly. Biggest upset of the year. I could not have
went
predicted
in
how
with
that went.
no expectations.
Came out
and absolutely loved it.
Yeah, no, great movie. Phenomenal movie. Everything about it.
Alright, so Red won. Unfortunately, Alex was not able to make it for the review, but we do have Bryan here.
Sadly, Alex couldn't make it. He was the other guy who saw the movie with us.
Yes.
But God, Red won. What a movie.
Really?
What a movie.
I mean, because the trailers for this movie...
They pushed him hard.
They did, and what they showed in the trailers didn't look good.
No, I really expected it to just be like a
I feel like
holiday
tends to happen.
cash grab.
Yeah. And it's like another one of those
Yeah.
bad Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies.
Well, I honestly, he wasn't as center frame as I thought, which was a great thing because I would fight Dwayne The Rock Johnson if I had the chance. I'd beat him up.
I doubt that.
No, I could. I would. I don't know if I could, but I would. But as soon as he was off screen, it was a pretty good movie.
I mean, I don't mind Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean, he can act. It's just he's in a lot of bad things.
Yeah, his film history has a very wide range. He's been in some bangers, but he's also been in some of the worst movies to ever be produced.
So we go into this movie with like zero expectations. And
yeah, didn't you actually suggest it as a joke?
Like, I mean,
at first it was just a gag.
We were just kind of talking like, hey, want to see a movie today? And like Alex mentioned Venom. We'd already seen that, so we're like, let's do something else. Mm-hmm. So then I just threw out kind of as a joke. It's like, yo, Red 1 just came out. Let's go see that. Just because it'd be funny. But then it was actually a blast. It was a really good movie, honestly.
And honestly, I think that the opener was a lot better than I expected it to be, because usually when movies open with a flashback or something, it's just kind of bland. This opening was hilarious. It was hilarious. It's this stupid fat little kid, and he steals keys off of his parents to go show his cousins where their Christmas presents are being hidden. And then I don't know if it's his dad, but some adult shows up.
No, it's his uncle, because... No, remember the one kid had the incredible line.
Oh, that line. How could I forget that?
Because, like, they're, like, locked in this closet, and he found the keys to the closet or whatever.
So he's like, look at all the presents I found.
He's like, why can't you find your dad?
It was...
Oh, my God.
It was the greatest exchange ever. I should also probably state that Noah, Alex, and I were the only three in the theater.
Oh my God, yeah. Let's just talk about that for a second, because, people like to talk about theater experiences with, like, Avengers Endgame or something, where, like, the whole crowd goes nuts. With this, we were the only three people in the entire theater, so we got to be as loud as we wanted and say whatever we wanted, and it was amazing.
We were jumping around a lot.
I mean, there were parts where we just flat out cheered like Cap caught the hammer or something. Mm-hmm. Like,
and we went crazy over that scene, the "Why can't you find your dad" bit.
It was like one of the first lines in the movie. Like, holy shit!
Honestly, dude, honestly.
The uncle character they're talking about, he's like trying to convince him that Santa's real and whatever, and then like we're led to believe that this like fat little kid grows up to be Chris Evans,
which is
sure. I mean, good for him, I guess.
It's not even the fact that the kid was fat and nasty. He was also like a very bright-haired blonde, and Chris Evans is like has dirty brown hair. So it was such a shock.
I don't know, but we catch up with Chris Evans, and he basically just he's almost like what's the word?
He's on a job, isn't he? He just is on a job. Like he's just kind of doing stuff.
I mean, basically, but, like, his job is, like, he just gets paid by whoever wants to pay him to go and, like, hack stuff or whatever. He's, like, a really good hacker.
But he also goes about it in the most, like, just terroristic way possible.
He's also just a terrible person.
Yeah, he's just a dick. Like, he has to get into this building.
It's a naughty lister.
Yeah, he has to get into this building, and rather than just walking in or maybe bribing a guard, he decides to burn a whole-ass gazebo down. And
lights a Christmas tree on fire.
Yeah. And he lets these two dogs loose, which doesn't seem that bad until you realize maybe 15 feet away from them, there's just this unguarded baby sitting in a stroller.
Which he steals a lollipop from said baby.
Oh my god, he does. That
the
was
worst
so
crime
funny.
of them all.
That was hilarious.
The movie was genuinely funnier than I expected.
It was really funny.
But also
Great
just
jokes.
probably the biggest compliment we can give this movie, and we've talked about it already, is the world building is pretty good, because it just throws a lot of stuff at you, and you immediately just accept it, like, okay, yeah, this is how it works, with the whole thing with Red One, and who is like the code name for Santa, played by J.K. Simmons, which is
wonderful,
incredible.
Yes, Omni-Man, we needed that.
What was the
MORA, was it called?
MORA or something?
It was like, it stood for like Mythological Organization Relocation Services, like Relocation Association.
Something like that.
But it was such a cool idea. I loved that idea.
Where it's like there's this like secret government operation, like the CIA or something, that just purely deals with mythological beings and like just like to keep them hidden from the public and all that.
And that's another thing that a gripe that I have with normal Christmas movies is, of course you gotta have Santa, but they don't really go into any other mythos. It's kind of just Santa, and it's weird to believe that he's the only creature that exists. But in this movie, they're kind of all there. Santa's obviously just a high-profile guy.
The only one they do show us one other one. They show us the Headless Horseman, which was funny.
Oh, dude, remember the goons, the little goblins? they had goblins like hacking into
like
CIA websites. It was hilarious.
Well, it's like everybody working for Santa is in this group called ELF, like.
ELF,
it's
ELF.
Yeah. It's like ELF. I forget what it stands for, but like there's like these I can't talk. Anthropomorphic.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Polar bears and stuff like that, which was really funny. The one polar bear named Garcia, he's really funny. There's all this interesting technology they introduce, there's a scene towards the end of the movie where they actually show like how Santa is able to get into all these houses undetected, and it's really cool. Like they have this like shrinking technology and stuff like that, where like he can shrink down like all the presents and like sneak down the chimney, and then just I think it's called like adjusting them to reality, like turn them to normal size.
Yeah, they said that in the movie. It's also hilarious how like military efficient everything is. Like,
oh, absolutely.
He doesn't have Santa's jolly old sack. No, he has a weapon like duffel bag that he goes in, and he's just slinging presents around, and then he beams them. He goes back up, and they had those like. Do you remember the canisters on the sleigh that would switch out with more and more presents?
Oh yeah, they're like these
cool.
big ass canisters that just full of presents, like small presents that would just like he would just keep rotating.
Yeah, make sure his sack was always full.
And of course he has light speed reindeer, so
of course, yeah, you can't not have that. As far as the plot goes, it was very consistent. I felt like the pacing was pretty good.
It was alright. I thought there was maybe a little bit of a lull when they went into that like beach, like toy store place, where it was like, I don't know, that scene was just weird because it was like, apparently toy stores have like in the back rooms they have gloopy portals to like,
yeah, little goon caves,
like other realms or something, and that's where they meet this one guy who's working for the Christmas witch.
What was her name? Was it Gryla or Gryla?
Gryla?
I don't remember.
Something like that.
Remember she was quite hot.
Yeah. So basically, the whole plot is set into motion because Santa gets kidnapped by said Christmas witch. Chris Evans, unknowingly, was working for the Christmas witch. Like someone paid him to like hack into to try and find where the secret base of MORA is.
The North Pole, I guess.
Yeah. He unknowingly helps her find it, so then they bring him in to get Santa back, because he's like an incredible tracker. So him and Dwayne team up, and they actually have, like, at first they absolutely don't like each other, obviously, but then throughout the movie, because, like, Chris Evans has this relationship with his divorced wife and his kid, and, like, they actually have some decent heart-to-heart moments, because Dwayne Johnson's also like wanting to retire from working. He's like Santa's right-hand man, so he's wanting to retire because he's not seeing like the inner child in people anymore.
Yeah,
and like
just that lack of like Christmas spirit.
That
they say it at the beginning of the movie because there's this hilarious scene where J.K. Simmons is working out.
I mean, J.K. Simmons
slinging around thousands of pounds.
J.K. Simmons is like 60 years old and he's like jacked, dude.
I know. At first, I thought it was just I thought he was just lifting real weights, because, like, he's just jacked. What was his name? Calvin? Kel?
Who, Dwayne?
Yeah, Dwayne. He's Kel?
Kel, I think.
I think it was Kel. He's talking to him about retirement, and J.K. Simmons is like, alright, you can, but I just want to say, like, you're gonna get your vision back someday. You gotta always remember
it's always in there. Dwayne and Chris Evans have some genuine heart-to-hearts that were actually pretty good.
I think everyone has pretty good emotional beats.
I mean, like, all the actors in this movie do a good job, I think.
Which honestly surprised me. Because a lot of the characters are, at the end of the day, like, very comedic actors, like Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, even J.K. Simmons. They've all played very, very comedic roles.
Especially, like, Chris Evans, especially more recently.
Oh, yeah. As soon as that Marvel contract ended, he just started having a great time. He was a really good comic. Dwayne, he had some funny moments. Dwayne, I feel like he was funny without trying, which surprised me, because he had some times where his line deliveries were very funny.
Like,
they didn't necessarily
just
mean
the
to
way he would deliver them. Like, he would, like, say, like, these, like, lines where it's like we have to save Christmas or something like that, but it's, like, so dry and serious that it ends up being funny.
It ends up being hilarious.
And I like Chris Evans in anything, because I just think he's just hilarious.
I think
even when he's being serious, I think he can be funny.
I think one of the reasons I like him so much is just because everything he says and does feels so natural. Like, that feels exactly how a normal person would react. Like,
exactly.
He sees this Garcia, we talked about him earlier, this walking polar bear coming towards him.
This walking, talking
and he's like, holy shit! What is that? Like, perfectly rational reaction.
Exactly, yeah.
And then as far as the plot goes, after Santa gets kidnapped, and then we were talking about the beach scene, which they go there because Evans and Johnson have to find kind of the middleman
between
took the witch's money to pay Evans to find the location to the North Pole.
Yes.
And they find him.
Chris Evans' character's name is Jack, by the way.
I forgot. It is Jack.
I keep saying Chris Evans, though.
They find him, and they end up saying the Christmas witch's name, which is Gryla. I don't remember.
It's like, well, like, and even Chris Evans is like, he's like, Gryla? And
then he has a few takes with it, which is funny.
He ends up saying it right, and it's like, whenever you say her name, like, she can hear it, or whatever, like, no matter where she is.
And not only does she hear it, she apparently just Bluetooths your location, because she immediately sent snowmen after which were in the trailers, so I feel like everyone knows what to expect there.
And the only way to kill them is to take off their nose.
Yeah.
Where they just disintegrate.
They were actually just walking around like, got your nose.
Yeah,
got your nose. That was the type of timing they were on. It was hilarious.
Basically, Gryla's whole plan is to absorb J.K. Simmons' aura, which there's so much of.
Take Santa's aura.
J.K. Simmons has unlimited aura, but she takes his aura and puts them into, like, these snow globes that she sends to all the people on the naughty list, and they end up getting trapped in these snow globes.
Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the movie, it's revealed that, like, if you're in a snow globe as a naughty lister, as a bad person, and you eventually come to grasp with it, and you're able to kind of change yourself and be a good person, you can escape, because that happens with Evans and his kid. They have a heart-to-heart moment, and they quit being dickheads, and then they're able to escape.
I think from the beach scene is when Krampus enters.
Yes.
Which was probably our favorite scene in the entire movie.
Not even that scene. Just anything involving Krampus, who is technically in this movie Santa's brother. Amazing.
But it's like...
amazing.
Like, Dwayne and Chris were like, they're in this truck, like, driving. They're in Germany, going to this, like, cemetery. Mm-hmm. And we like, look at each other, we're like, because they're talking about Santa's brother. They're in Germany.
Yeah.
We're like, Krampus? And then they say it, and we lost our minds.
I remember you said first, you leaned over to me like, hey, they might be talking about Krampus. I was like, we're in Germany. They're totally talking about Krampus.
Yeah, it's like...
And then they referred to him as Nick's brother for like 30 minutes. And then just the first time they say Krampus, it is awesome.
I mean, we stood up and applauded. It was...
And we were terrified because the whole movie had been kind of goofy, and we wanted Krampus to be cool.
Oh,
and
yeah.
holy shit, he was.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried, it's like, how goofy is Krampus gonna be? But no, he looked good. And, like...
Looked amazing.
I'll say that for, like, a movie like this, all the effects were really well done, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Makeup was
some of
great.
the effects in this look better than some Marvel movies, like, now especially. There's, like, a tomb in the cemetery, they go through another one of those gloop portals, which sends them to, like, Krampus's castle. And
the first thing they see is his sleigh, which is cool as hell. It's like a metal black sleigh
with like fiery skulls on it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like it's kind of like Ghost Rider's bike. From
Yeah,
the
it did remind me of that a lot. So like they're at his castle, and of course Chris Evans picks up some gold, which he's not supposed to, and they end up getting imprisoned inside the castle. And Krampus is hosting his like annual. What was it called?
Krampenschnacht? No, Krampenschlacht is the game they played.
Krampenschnacht or something like that.
German words.
German word, yes. But it's like just like a party with all like Satan's
Krampus's
Krampus's,
goons.
yes.
Little goons and creatures.
They're basically, and then they play this game called Krampus Slop. That's what the game is called.
Yeah.
Which is basically just a slap fight against Krampus.
But no one wins.
No.
Because Krampus always wins.
It's a fucking tank.
Yeah, he is.
So they're about to be like trapped there forever or whatever.
Yeah,
like he's
like just executed.
I don't even know. Like I don't even know if he's gonna kill him. He's just gonna keep him there, I think.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because Krampus is on the same side as the Snow Witch Gryla. Like he believes that all naughty people should be severely punished, no matter how bad. Whereas, of course, Nick's contrast is like you can be good, you can be naughty, but you can be like really naughty.
So Chris convinces Krampus to have a slap fight with Dwayne, which Dwayne gets bitched immediately.
Yeah. Dwayne gets destroyed. Krampus was on some horrific timing this entire movie. He was just like when he went to slap Dwayne, he didn't immediately slap him. He like
he would like grab
his face and he like caressed. He was like, "You ready, boy?" it was freaky as hell.
He had his forked tongue.
Oh, don't remind me of that.
After the first round, Dwayne gets up and he's just completely beaten.
Dwayne gets up and he's just like,
like he's like seeing triple and shit.
Yeah, he's dead.
But they have like these. As he's like winding up, Chris like slaps like this device on his arm that they've been using throughout the movie that like enhances your strength. And he just absolutely destroys Krampus, and that's when they make a run for it and escape. But even before the slap fight happens, Dwayne is like trying to convince him, is like, "Hey, do it for your brother, man." But like he doesn't look like he's gonna be convinced. But later on, that comes back into play. So
in a big way.
Yes.
But one thing I do want to say is, even with his strength boost from his machine, he does not knock Krampus out.
No.
Like, he falls down, sure, but he gets back up almost immediately. And now he's just more pissed than ever. So then they gotta fight their way through his little goons to escape him.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
But he more or less lets them go, because he doesn't really pursue them at all.
He probably could have stopped them.
And like, by the way, there's these hellhounds that are chasing a chicken this entire time, and it's hilarious.
Dwayne has this little like
the little rubber chicken, and he adjusts it to reality, becomes a real chicken, and it's like this chicken has the stamina of like it's insane.
This chicken hauls ass. So
Absolutely.
It had to have been like 3 or 4 hours in movie time.
Because, like, who knows how long they were in that jail cell
Yeah,
for.
they were probably in there for a while.
Gryla will leave these gifts with the snow globe inside of it, with, like, and it's left on a piano in, like, the middle of a road, because Chris Evans is doing this thing with The Rock right now, he's missing his son's piano recital, so that kind of, like, lures him in.
Yeah.
But then the son also has a snow globe at the recital at the same time, so...
Chris Evans' kid is a pretty bad kid. They established that early in the movie. What did he do? Didn't he like slash some kid's tires on his bike?
But at the same time, Chris Evans is a terrible person as well, so it kind of fits. But obviously the kid doesn't know what's happening, so he just grabs the snow globe and it transports him into
the basement.
Yes.
I guess,
So and he's on FaceTime with Chris while this is happening. So they both end up grabbing the snow globe and they both get transported into the trap in Gryla's dungeon or whatever.
And I think that this scene as good as it is, seeing Chris want to save his kid after he hasn't really cared too much about him the whole film, I think it's also a very good example of the flaws with Gryla's plan. Most of the bad actions that he's taken have been because, like, he's getting bullied or someone's just mad at him, so it shows that flaw with, like, not everyone deserves the same punishment for small or big things.
Nobody's perfect. Like, everyone's done bad things. So if that's your logic, then, like, I don't really know.
You gotta kind of take care of everyone if that's the case.
Gryla's henchmen are shapeshifters. We forgot to mention that.
For some reason. That kind of confused me. There's probably lore because Gryla is a real myth.
Yeah.
But that came out of nowhere for me. So her kids were shapeshifters,
but they are shapeshifters. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they would call her mom, so they're her children.
I would call
guess,
her mom to
or
be
something.
Fair, but
they're impersonating all like the higher ups at MORA, which this entire time Gryla's dungeon is like underneath of MORA. So Dwayne gets down there, and that's around the same time where Chris and his son Dylan is his name have their heart to heart, and they break out of their snow globes. Which leads, and he also breaks out everyone that is being impersonated. He breaks them out as well, and which leads to the big final battle on the runway that Santa uses. Yeah,
because his sleigh pulls out of a runway before it actually takes off with the reindeer and everything. Like
a plane, basically.
Yeah.
In order for the sleigh to take off, you need Santa there. So Santa is still in this snow globe while Gryla is piloting the sleigh. Mm-hmm. Which in this is this scene takes a long time. So it's how long is that runway?
Yeah, honestly, because they're moving fast,
and it's we should be reaching the end by now.
Uh-huh.
They break the chains
that are holding the reindeer together,
and the reindeer just kind of fly off. Mm-hmm. And then the sleigh just comes to a screeching halt. Which, this is right, because then through shenanigans or whatever, they knock Gryla off of the runway, and she shows her true form, which is this giant ogre. Just the outfits in this movie, it's just
they were impeccable.
Down from Santa's outfit to even just the red and green suits that all the MORA people wear is really cool.
And speaking of the drip, this is where Krampus comes back to save the day.
Yes,
highlight of the movie for me.
Honestly,
it was awesome seeing him
Krampus swoops in on his demon sleigh and just wrecks shit, and it's awesome.
Yeah, he hits because it launches fireballs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He shoots her with pure fireballs. It's awesome.
Gryla is Krampus's ex,
which allows for so many jokes. So many jokes. He lands, he punches her in the face, and then he turns around, he's like, "Sorry guys, it's my ex." He's so funny, and he doesn't even try that hard.
Well, yeah, because she ends up falling because she has all the snow globes in the back of the sleigh. Mm-hmm. So she comes into contact with them, and that transports her into her own snow globe.
She a little naughty, so they
a little bit.
All the snow globes kind of work together to put her in one.
Yes, exactly. So it's and it's cool because Nick, Santa, and Krampus kind of have a moment, and it's pretty cool. And Krampus is actually "Merry Christmas, brother."
Yeah, because Krampus is he's chill. He doesn't really like his brother, but he knows how important Christmas is to the world. Yeah, which is kind of why he pulled up.
He's not a complete asshole.
Yeah, because Gryla's "Hey, my brother's a dick, but he's got places to be. Wait, I gotta take care of this."
Yeah, exactly. He's a really chill character. Really like him a lot.
Awesome. And still a certified freak. I mean, that doesn't stop because doesn't he start hitting on Gryla mid-fight?
I think so.
Because she grabs him she has big tails. She picks him up with her tails. And he's "Oh, just like old times," as he's getting thrown around the runway.
So then after that, it's when the scene takes place where we mentioned earlier we actually get to see Santa's routine,
his process.
Yeah. And I think it's cool that they mentioned with the whole mythology thing that Santa is there's only one Santa, which is really cool. He's a anchor being or something.
Because I remember early in the movie, Evans, back when they still hated each other, Chris Evans and Dwayne were talking in a car, and he just keeps asking him all these questions how does Santa do all the shit he does? And every time Dwayne, his response is just he's fucking Santa. Yeah. He can do anything. Exactly. But only he can do it.
It's everything that happens just makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool just because you're shown all these different all this different technology and like things they use throughout the movie, and then it all comes into play in this final like action scene of Santa going to all the houses, and it's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I actually didn't even really think of that. Yeah, all of the like gadgets.
All the gadgets that like Dwayne Johnson uses throughout the movie all come back.
Yeah, all come back. And work together too.
Yeah.
In the final scene, which is
it's really cool.
That didn't even hit me. Yeah, that's awesome. After the present delivery, Chris Evans and his kid are just on the sleigh somehow. I don't know how they're surviving because they're just normal people.
It's like the amount of G forces you have to be experiencing on that sleigh, like. Because, like, Dwayne Johnson and, like, everyone at MORA, they're not human because they live for, like, hundreds of years or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, like, Chris Evans and his kid are just normal, and they're just chilling on this sleigh.
Yeah. And they have another heart-to-heart. They really have a good development as the story goes on. But
Dwayne Johnson...
Yeah.
He like gets his Christmas spirit back basically, and he's able to see like Chris Evans as a kid
because he
like
sees him change,
that youthful wonder,
that fat little bastard. I know we brought it up earlier with the "Why can't you find your dad?" line.
Dude, but that line was so crazy. It was like one of the first of the movie. It was like, is this what this movie's gonna be?
And honestly, it did. It kept that type of energy the whole time. It was phenomenal.
It's a very energetic movie, yeah.
But that's kind of an overview of the plot with our thoughts sprinkled in.
And it's like, I just want to say something real quick because it's like, I don't like to pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that because a lot of it's bullshit anyway. But the critic score is atrocious on this movie. It's like 33 or something like that. But the audience is 90.
See, now that's the difference that you got in. Like, people and critics.
Movies like this, you don't take seriously. Like, it's...
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to say like it's a dumb fun movie because it's like a lot of it, I wouldn't even call it dumb because a lot of it is like really well thought out and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like, but it's genuinely just a fun movie, and it's like, I don't know, like, how cynical you have to be to go into that and just not enjoy it.
And it's also like, it's not hiding anything. It's a Christmas movie.
It knows what it is. Like,
yeah. It's not like you're going in expecting one of the most serious movies of all time, and then Santa starts lifting 2,000 pounds. I mean, that's not realistic. He can't do that.
You know what movie you're watching, and it knows what movie it is. So like, I don't know how you can't enjoy a movie like that. Like, this is one of my new favorite Christmas movies for sure.
Oh, definitely. It was so good.
So again, yeah, all of the cast. J.K. Simmons is like my favorite Santa. It's like it's just so awesome.
I did like J.K.
J.K. Simmons is just Santa. Awesome in anything.
And one thing that did surprise me is most of the plot is Santa being kidnapped. So I honestly thought J.K. Simmons would only be in the movie for like 3 minutes, but he's actually there for quite a while.
I mean,
like, he has a lot of scenes.
He's in a lot of the beginning and the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. In the middle, he's not really there because his aura is getting sucked out. So
yeah, he's just in this like little glass hamster ball tied down with Gryla sucking him off.
And like, dude, like for like an hour of the movie, it'll like keep cutting back, and like there's still aura coming off of him.
They're still taking his power. Like, how much does this guy have?
So yeah,
not really.
Any other general thoughts? I think we covered it pretty well.
Covered everything, but it was a great movie.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was just which might have enhanced our enjoyment of it, but it was just a really fun time.
And I think I'm honestly a little bit sad that no one else was there because it was a really good movie. Like, I felt like people should be there.
And like, this movie had a $250 million budget, and it only made like 80-something million its first weekend. It's like, that just sucks, man.
But I also am happy that I contributed to that.
This has been a problem a lot lately with just movies having ridiculous budgets that they can't make back. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't know if the budget is too inflated, if it should be less. But I mean, there's a lot of special effects that go into a movie like this. So I mean, it's like, I don't know how much, like, what the minimum could have been, if that. But it's like, especially since 2020. I mean, people just don't go to the movie theater as much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had our outliers with like Deadpool and Wolverine and like Inside Out 2, which were like juggernauts. But other than that, it's like, there's more bombs now than there like ever was before.
And I think it is...
And a lot of that has to do with streaming. It's like people will just wait to watch it.
Yeah,
so.
people are just going to wait until it's on Disney Plus or whatever. But movies, like Noah said, you have your box office bangers like Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. But you also have a lot of bad movies coming out.
That's true, too.
some of them are just plain bad, which sucks because then when something good does come along, if it's not a sequel or if it's not a reboot with like nostalgic roots, people just aren't going to see it because they're going to expect it to
with
be
a movie
bad.
like this where like not a lot of people are seeing it, that means word of mouth isn't getting around, and the word of mouth that is getting around is like critics just trashing it. So it's like, I don't know, it's a hard battle.
It is a hard fought battle, but I do think this movie has plenty of potential because it was really good.
Like, I feel like this could be a movie, like, once it hits streaming, will become, like, a cult classic or something like that. Or,
like the Christmas Chronicles when it went on Netflix.
It could, like, really gain a following once it hits streaming. So I hope that's the case.
I hope they can at least get some money that way.
Yeah.
Because I do want them to make everything back that they did. And let's not lie. The majority of that budget probably went to J.K. Simmons, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Chris Evans.
That's true, too.
Those are some pretty big names to put in one movie.
Yeah. You can obviously nitpick, but, like, I don't like to do that because it's just stupid. Like, you're just trying to find something bad to say when there's, like, nothing really there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a movie like this, I'm not going to nitpick. It was just a really good time, and you should go see it because it's a really fun movie.
You should 100% go see it with friends, go see it with family.
Absolutely.
Family, honestly, would probably be good because there's a lot of really good emotional stuff. With
It's
Chris
PG-13, so
yeah, it's not like
there's
it's fun
nothing
to get
too
into.
bad in there. It's like with the holidays like this is just a really good like end of the year holiday movie to go watch with friends and family.
This is a good wind down.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
not going in expecting anything too crazy.
You don't have to think too much watching this. You can just.
That was good too. Stuff was like explained thoroughly, but it also wasn't over-explained to the point where you feel like a child.
Yeah, where they just introduce everything and it just makes sense. Like, okay.
Because the exposition is gradual throughout the film. Like, you're still learning stuff about this world around the end of the movie. Like, the tunnel systems that Gryla hid everyone in.
It's like, this movie has a lot of exposition, but not in, like, a noticeable way. Where it's like, every scene is pretty interesting, so it's just like, you're just kind of just... It's just like, because like the pace is pretty fast, like it's always moving. Like there's a few like slower scenes, but like not too many.
Speaking of interesting, the fight choreography was immaculate.
Oh yes, absolutely. The one fight on the beach with when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson like was like shrinking, it was like an Ant-Man fight.
Oh yeah, he can. How does he do that? Does he click his heels together? But he can like kind of shrink to like a foot or so tall.
Well, it's like the same thing with like the adjust reality thing, where it's like he can actually shrink himself, and it's funny. So yeah, I think
Red One, phenomenal movie,
really fun.
Christmas movie of the year.
Oh, absolutely,
hands down.
Maybe biggest surprise of the year.
Maybe
like, honestly, go into this with no expectations and to like it as much as we did. Like I think that says a lot. So I think that's gonna do it for our review of Red One. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you very much.